My take is I think Aaron Rodgers is washed.
You do think he's washed?
Yeah, I don't think. To be honest.
I'm not ready to call it yet.
Yeah, I don't
yet.
I'm calling it yet. I'm calling it now. Yeah. So Josiah,
what you got, bro?
You said you had something for us.
What you got, man?
So I put together like 5 different overreaction statements.
Okay.
So they can be hot takes or just things that like may be true for week 1.
Right.
But if someone were to say it, it'd be like, well, hold your horses here. Just because you saw it this week doesn't mean it's going to continue to happen.
Right.
Let's see it.
Overreaction week, baby. My favorite overreaction day is after week 1.
Yeah.
Because you absolutely know absolutely nothing about the season. Like anything. Like Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year when we didn't look great against the Lions, you know, for first week. So
yeah.
Who knows?
Okay, so the first one is Jordan Mason is ready to replace Christian McCaffrey.
Hey, you know what? Hey, check it out though. You can ask who I was around, which was my father-in-law.
Oh my gosh.
Check this out. I said, is it Christian McCaffrey or the offensive line? Because
I mean,
Jordan Mason went.
They
off.
do have Trent Williams,
right? Who got a contract, and and Jordan Mason went off.
So
now we understand. Yes, Jordan Mason is no Christian McCaffrey by his track record, right. But I'm telling you, Jordan Mason
before McCaffrey got there, Debo was running all over defenses.
Who was it? Was it was it Elijah Mitchell?
Elijah
Before
Mitchell.
He got injured.
Yep, Elijah Mitchell was running over. So maybe it is the offensive line.
Yeah,
maybe they can be like,
although in Carolina, Christian McCaffrey was Carolina's offense.
Yeah,
so.
he's still
Christian McCaffrey.
He is that guy.
Christian McCaffrey when he's healthy.
Yeah,
he's healthy.
But Jordan Mason is kind of like, hey, you give me an opportunity, I'm going to step up and
did the Chiefs trade for
stock for myself.
Jordan Mason?
No.
When Christian McCaffrey comes back?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, cool.
Not that deep.
Bottom line, he's not replacing Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, no.
When Christian McCaffrey's healthy, Jordan Mason is number 2.
Yeah. But he looked, Jordan Mason
undrafted.
real good, though.
Undrafted.
And I bet you, if you was to go to your fantasy app, I bet you Jordan Mason
he's on like 95% teams.
Has went up for people claiming him on the waiver wire.
He was at, even right before the game, whenever I went to pick him up, he was at 3 points.
Oh,
he was projected at 3 points.
3 points, yeah.
Like even right because
it was literally like
game
time of the Jordan Mason. So it was crazy.
It was crazy.
But
all right, next one. Adding Derrick Henry to the Lamar Jackson-led Ravens offense is redundant and a waste.
I agree with that. Man. I don't think Derrick Henry didn't have his. I think Justin Hill would be more effective in their backfield than Derrick Henry. Because Justice Hill can get out, like he'll catch the ball. Like Derrick Henry will wear you down, but you got to give him the ball. So I'll say it this way: if you don't give him the ball, and like if he's going to be on the sideline half the game, then it doesn't matter. Like why'd you pay him?
To me, I think it's still huge because of having them there. And I think some of it was on Baltimore staff. Again, you got to understand. You got to understand, when it comes to, and I'm not just saying this for a Chiefs fan, you can check the stats and the history of it. A lot of teams get outside of their game plan
when they go
playing against, because their mindset is we have to score points because we know at times Kansas City just can light up the scoreboard or can score in a moment. And so with that, they begin now, this guy that you brought in that you paid money, you take him off the sideline and you plan a Justice Hill.
Yep.
I think when you see the season unfold in most games, Derrick Henry is probably going to be in and getting more of that. But the pressure that they feel to move the ball down the field to try to get in the red zone to score, I think added pressure to remove Derrick Henry like Justice Hill is our receiving back.
Yeah, Derrick Henry has to be in the game when he's not getting the ball.
Because the thing is, I think – this is why you're going to need him, because as you can see in this game, and even when you saw in the AFC Championship game, is the fact that Lamar Jackson, man, throwing the ball down the field is hard. It seems like his accuracy is not well. And so
even that pass to Nelson Aguilar to the 10-yard line
was tough.
Nelson Aguilar had to go up to get, and they're like, oh, he put it only where he could get it. No, he overthrew him,
Right.
and Nelson Aguilar made a good play.
So
Like,
adding Derrick Henry to draw up some of that secondary to load up the box, which sometimes we did that, opened up some stuff from them.
Yep.
I think it's key. So I don't think it's necessarily a waste, but I can totally see where it could be because, I mean, look at what they did. Look, all right, check this out. Last year, who'd they have? They had Gus Edwards and
J.K. Dobbins.
right? And there was always this like
It's a rotation.
interchanging rotation of a committee running back, right?
Right.
And then J.K. Dobbins goes to the Chargers, and what he does, he goes off.
Yep.
He like has his rookie,
Yep.
it looked like, oh, this may be what he did his rookie year.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And hence why, we had a moment to bring him in to talk to maybe Adam. But that, that's the thing.
Yep.
So I think the component of what he brings is probably what they're leaning on. But I totally can see it's not a bad thought.
They
about
gotta
it being
they
a
gotta
waste.
make sure Derrick Henry's on the field when he's not running the ball.
I mean,
Because
just-
every time like he was on the field, he essentially got the ball and we were able to stop. We knew, okay, Derrick Henry's probably getting this ball, and we stopped him behind the line of scrimmage half a dozen times.
Well, and I remember whenever they picked him up, thinking that, oh shoot, we're not going to know who's going to run the ball, Lamar Jackson or Derrick Henry.
Right.
But
And
they
so I
played
think that
against
they
them.
need to-
Yeah.
I think they need to lean into that.
Yep.
That it having both of them on the field, it's
Right.
like you don't know what's going to happen,
Yeah.
and I think that they need to lean into
Well,
that.
and let Derrick Henry block, bro. The guy
Yeah.
is 6'2",
Oh, yeah.
247.
Yeah.
Let him block.
And, another thing was we were kind of, you can tell that's why Justice Hill was, I mean, we didn't guard that well because we were so, on the thought of like, Lamar Jackson running.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I still think that he is a key player to their offense, and you'll see it throughout the year.
Yep.
But hey, I mean, that's not a bad thought.
Not a bad thought.
Go
Yeah.
get Jordan Mason.
Yep.
Could have got him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right, next one. Xavier Worthy is the new Tyreek Hill.
No.
I think there's only one Tyreek Hill, right?
Until Xavier Worthy goes up and make tough, consistent catches
Yep.
at the height that he is.
Yeah.
We know he got the speed.
So
He makes the tough catches, and he can. And I need to I need to see Xavier Worthy get hit hard.
yeah,
I don't want him to. I'm not saying I don't want him to get hurt, anything like
yeah.
that. I just need him to see how does he hold up with, because Tyreek Hill wasn't afraid to come across the middle, nor
No.
did we shy away from throwing him passes across the middle because he was shorter. Now his speed made up to remove himself from some of the impact hits, but I think the nature of that was there. Now speed wise, I mean, it was very exciting to me. Like,
Nobody's
oh,
catching
man, we
him.
got that.
He's
like,
open field,
we had that
nobody's
back.
catching him,
We
yeah.
know what it looked like with
Yep.
Tyreek Hill. But Xavier got a little ways to go.
yeah. He needs to put on a
so-
little bit of muscle if he wants to be the new Tyreek
Yeah.
Hill.
And listen, as long as when he gets pulled over, he raises his window down, then he will not be.
Yeah.
He'll be better than the new Tyreek Hill.
Right, just
So
roll your
that's
window
that.
down.
That's that.
Yeah, just roll your window.
But no, he is not.
That is not our stand. Like Deonte's comments do not represent that of Thy Kingdom Come podcast. And those are his own opinion.
Let's
We're
do
not
it.
going to talk about it. All right, next one.
Let's
next
do authority.
One.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right.
All right.
Next
Let's
one.
go.
Next one.
Next one. The Patriots
Gee.
have a real shot at winning their division.
The Patriots are undefeated.
They're
They are
undefeated.
undefeated.
They're undefeated. So
They're
they,
second
they have an
place.
undefeated season right now.
Yeah. They're not going to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
They're
well,
1-0.
Yeah, no, they aren't. So I guess they won't win the. Oh,
Yeah,
next
and they
won.
won on the road in Cincinnati.
They did.
They did.
They're the only team in their division to win on the road. The Jets lost.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
And I had the Jets. I did have the Jets losing that game.
No. The Bills won. Which the Bills won because
No, they won at home.
Yeah, they won at home though.
Wait, what did you
So
say?
so
I
they
said
were
that
the
they're
only ones to
team
win
in
on the
their division
road.
away on the road.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Bills won at home,
Yeah.
but
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't. I think the quarterback play is going to come out to it. Now, Ramondre Stevenson is a huge highlight for them.
yep.
But once I think if you hone in to stopping him, I mean, I think you're going to see their defense as well.
Yeah.
But I think they won't. I don't know. Jacoby Brissett, I mean, he's just never really.
He's not
just
consistent,
been
man.
mediocre. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he has not. He's not had a consistent career.
And quarterback has been their trouble since. You lost Brady.
Hey, man,
And they drafted a guy, but again, like
You're not-
the NFL is different than college, and so
I think it's a fluke, man. If you go fishing, the most common fish in the sea is a fluke.
yeah.
So
I don't think Patriots
I'm just saying.
will have a better record than Miami or Buffalo.
that's an Office quote that I just said
Yeah.
too.
But
Anyways,
I like the
Kevin Malone, baby.
I like the thought.
Yeah.
I don't like the thought at all.
Yeah, right.
Prove me wrong. There we
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
The last one is Aaron Rodgers is washed, and alternatively, Tyrod Taylor could replace him.
Hey, I tell you what, Aaron Rodgers, like every kind of play that maybe a drop pass or even the one that was broken up, the disappointment on that man's face is like, it was like
He expects a lot out of his guys.
yeah.
Yep.
And
He
I
does.
think
And his throws look good.
yeah, and maybe he feels his time is running out as well, but.
So I will say the last game we saw Aaron Rodgers play in full and the stats to this Monday night game were very similar. But I think the advantage he has this time is like he hadn't played in a year. He's coming off an injury, and the fact that he's able to, get his stats to look similar to the last time he played a full game, I think it's a good thing for him. I don't think he's washed yet. We have an entire season to see. His receivers has to get back on the same page with him. He did spend some of the off season when he should have been at camp, not at camp. So we'll see.
My take is I think Aaron Rodgers is washed.
You do think he's washed?
Yeah, I don't think. To be honest.
I'm not ready to call it yet.
Yeah, I don't
yet.
I'm calling it yet. I'm calling it now. I don't think that he's in the. I don't think. Now I understand what his record like. If you take away the history and the Aaron Rodgers that's now, I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. I think this injury because he did not move well, and some of that stuff that Aaron Rodgers, even though he wasn't fast, he can maneuver in the pocket to get some guys to buy them time down the field. That's why Randall Cobb was so good. He always just knew when it was scramble drill to get to a spot so he can get the ball, and I think that's huge. And it's Achilles, you can tell. He looks a little timid.
Yep.
I mean, he had 167 yards, 13 for 21, 61% completion. He averaged 8 yards a throw, and he did have one touchdown, which was 36 yards. And
but he also had an
Allen Lazard
interception.
had that big one, but he had the interception.
Yep.
His sack was only 5 yards. I don't know. I just don't think this is the same Aaron Rodgers. I think this injury will affect him. And being off a year affects as well, because as you're not able to do where you are because this specific injury, the rehabbing still don't allow you to move and like you want to, and everybody else is getting faster. Everybody else is improving in their physical, attributes and in their and all of that. So I don't know. Like I know a lot of people may throw some shade like you don't know what you're talking about, and that's all right.
Cool.
But I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback this year.
Man.
And I don't know. I think he's on the downtrend.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong, Aaron Rodgers. Let me see it.
Yeah, I mean, we still have the whole season. And he was talking about yesterday, I think it was on Pat McAfee, that he only got hit twice, I think, in that game.
Yeah.
And so if there's a game
that's
where he
more
gets hit
kudos
a bunch,
to his line, though.
like it could. Right. No, exactly. And so there may be, he is older. So, what happens whenever he gets hit 7 times in a game?
Right.
Or he has to move outside a lot during the game.
Right.
What happens? How does he perform?
Right.
Yeah.